Hello, fellow humans. Chris here again. So, wanted to give a little update on what's been going on lately. I know I've been kind of off my normal routine the last couple months, and for people that have been kind of following along, you might know some of what I've been doing, and you might not, because I've removed some of the videos that have discussed some of it. But I'm kind of at a place now where I think I'm a little bit more comfortable with sharing a little bit of what's been going on. So, back in February, I was deployed. Well, I volunteered to be deployed to Oakland, California, to help out with the mass vaccination site there. So, beginning of March, we got deployed, and I worked there through. The orders were supposed to be for 90 days, so it was supposed to be through the end of May. About midway through April, we got notified that the site was going to close down, and they were going to be opening up a new site in Medford, Oregon, and we had the option to either just get our orders cut there and they would get new people, or continue on in Medford and extend for another 30 days. So ultimately, that's what I ended up doing. And so for the last, basically, in like the end of April, I've been here in Medford helping out at the Jackson County Expo. And we're going to be wrapping up here in probably the next week or two. Part of my hesitancy to share what's been going on at this point is, for one, I do work for a military organization, and you always have to keep operational security in mind, obviously, especially when you're talking on social media. And then I was sharing some, but then the command where I was working got a little bit strict about what we share, both operationally and on our own time. We didn't want information to get revealed, not only about what we were doing, but what our schedule was like, and our off time, and how we spent our off time, and things like that. So I've been kind of more secretive, I guess, about that stuff. But again, I'm as the operations are winding down, I'm feeling a little bit more comfortable with sharing some of the things that have been going on. And it's been a lot, by the time I get through all this, it's going to be 4 months that I've been deployed, away from home, away from my normal life. So there's definitely a lot to tell, and I'm not going to do it all in one video. I think I'm going to do it in kind of a series. I've wanted to do a series anyway, separate of my deployment specifically, but just about the culture of COVID, and the masks and the vaccinations, and sort of like the political stuff that's going on around all that. I've got a lot of thoughts, and I sort of wanted to give my take on that anyway. And then, having been working in the direct environment of the vaccination process over the last 4 months, I do have kind of a unique perspective, I think. And I do remember at the beginning, when I did share a couple videos that I've since removed, I got some comments from people about that the things that I was sharing helped them with, I guess, sort of mentally preparing for going to get their own shots. And so that was good to hear. And it makes me feel bad that I've since removed those, because it makes me feel good to know that things that I'm sharing is helping somebody. But anyway, definitely a lot to tell with what's happened over the last few months. I think the thing I'll start off with is just the overall. It's just been such an amazing experience to see the breadth of the people that have come to get their shots, and then the people that I've worked with. When I first started back in March in Oakland, we were still in the first wave, and the people that were getting their shots were 65 and older, or people that had immunocompromising health conditions of some kind. So if there were young people coming, they had some kind of either physical ailment or sometimes like a developmental disability, something that compromised them in a way that basically made them eligible for the shot. So for that first wave, the specific experience with the patients was unique compared to like what it is now, since it's open for everybody. And that period of time was really, really incredible, because pretty much everybody that was coming to get the shot was very much wanted to get the shot and was very grateful to be getting it. And I would talk to people who were crying out of I guess joy, but just it's just such a heavy whirlwind of emotions, and crying over just the release, the feeling of returning to normalcy, or at least this being a big step in that return. And it got me to thinking that I always think about the numbers, right? It's a numbers game. So with all those people, I mean, in Oakland, we were getting 5,000 to 8,000 vaccinations a day. So of all those people, I'm certain a lot of those people had loved ones that died of COVID. So I'm sure that also played into it. As the time went by, obviously we opened it up to more and more people. And now here in Medford, anyone can get a shot, and we're encouraging people to get a shot. It's a very different place where I'm at right now. When I was in Oakland, it's California, Bay Area, just tended to be a more kind of liberal area. People coming to get their shots wanted to get their shots, and they were supportive of it, and they were grateful for it. Here in Medford, it's been a little bit more of a challenge. We're a smaller site. We don't have the capacity that we had in Oakland. So when I say we get 200 to 300 per day versus 5,000 to 8,000 per day in Oakland, it's not a straight comparison because of the capacity. However, it's still not nearly the same. We're reaching normally, like on a good day, we get like 3% total capacity of the people that could be getting their shots, that are getting their shots. So that's kind of the unfortunate way to look at it, but the positive way to look at it, I guess, is that maybe they wouldn't get their shots at all if we weren't here. So that's another positive. But I think that I don't want to drag on any one video on too long, so I won't get into the full story. I'll probably tell bits and pieces of the whole deployment of what I think is comfortable and appropriate to share. But if you have any specific questions on the experience, please let me know, and I will address those aspects specifically in future videos. I will talk about what it was like when I first started. I'll talk about the different jobs that I've done. I have done a lot of different things, and what I'm doing here in Medford is very different from what I was doing in Oakland. And I'll talk a little bit about the relationships that I've developed, the working relationships, the interactions I've had with the customers and the public in general, and then I'll kind of get into my feelings and my sort of philosophies on things. Specifically, I would like to talk about the use of masks and the culture sort of around mask wearing, and also getting the vaccine, because I do have some thoughts on that. I have some thoughts on the CDC and their recommendation, their new guidance that came out for vaccinated people. So I actually would like to talk about all that. I'm not going to get into it all right now. Again, I don't want to lose everybody in just one video. I'd rather bore everybody in a nice fair distribution over the course of maybe a few weeks. But again, please let me know if you have anything specifically that you'd like to ask. I would be more than happy to try to give anybody any kind of insight that might help if you're maybe thinking about getting the vaccine, or maybe you're still feeling uneasy about it for whatever reason. I can talk about my experience getting the vaccine myself. So yeah, let me know, please. Again, I'd like to know. It's good to know that sharing the experience of being involved in just such a huge mission like this, that it helps people in terms of maybe mentally preparing them for taking that step themselves. So anyway, I'll leave it at that for now, and I will catch up with you all again very soon. Thanks again for checking in on me, and once again, have a great rest of your day. And remember, don't be afraid to question the consensus.